Vaughan & Co. Securities Inc. presents Jim's Take, Retirement Next Month. Do you know how much money it will take for you to retire?
Most people don't know how to calculate how much money they need in order to retire. So let's get started. I'm Jim Vaughan from Vaughan & Company Securities, and I hope by the end of this video you'll be able to calculate how much you need in order to retire. First thing we do is determine how much you're going to need to maintain your standard of living in retirement. Let's pretend you're retiring at the end of this month. Next month, you need a check to maintain your standard of living. We're going to add a little extra for vacations, for charities, maybe for gifts to children. We then take that number, that monthly number, and multiply it by 12 to convert it into an annual need for income. Now, some of you may receive a pension, fewer and fewer, but some of you may receive a pension, and that's the first money you're going to receive in retirement. So we don't need to replace that. Others, many of you, are going to receive Social Security. It's a particularly complicated decision on claiming your Social Security, but that's going to be the second source of your income. The third source of your income is going to be your retirement investment program. And from that, we need to determine how much you need so that you can withdraw the balance of your income needs. Just to review, we determine your annual income, we reduce any pension and Social Security that you're going to get to give us a net annual amount that you need. We then multiply that amount by 20 because we believe you're going to be able to withdraw 5% per year from your investment program and still be able to give yourself an annual raise, because it's essential that you have an annual raise in order to maintain your standard of living because of inflation.
How do I plan for unanticipated expenses?
Well, let's plan on them. What do we need if these unintended expenses come up? We're going to need cash reserves. I don't know how much. We suggest that you keep 24 months of income needs in cash reserves. That way you'll have an amount when these unanticipated expenses come up. Cash reserves, by the way, are in addition to your retirement income amounts.
How long will my money last?
In our plan, your money lasts for eternity. We expect that you'll be the wealthiest that you've ever been on the day that you leave this earth. We expect in an all-equity portfolio an 8% annual return. We anticipate that you will live on 5 of those 8 percentage point returns, and we're going to leave the remaining 3% in the portfolio to account for inflation. I know that inflation has been less than 3% recently, but that's been the return in the Ibbotson chart for the last 50 years. It's essential that we account for inflation in our portfolio. Although we do not know what future returns will be, we do know that historically, according to the Ibbotson charts, large company stocks return 10% per year, small companies 12%, developed market companies 11%, and emerging market companies return 14% per year. We expect that after our 1% fee and after all market fluctuations, your investment return could be more than 8% per year. We are going to discuss the basis for these investment returns. We're not just going to take my word for it. We're going to have an extended discussion on where these returns come from and why this is a reasonable projection going forward. What's interesting about investment returns and the projected numbers is that you rarely get that number. Actual returns tend to be both much higher and much lower than projected returns.
How do I deal with market fluctuations and drops?
Dealing with market drops, market fluctuation is the toughest job for an investor. So there's three things that you can do to deal with market drops. And just to keep this really difficult, let's imagine that the market drop occurs right after you retire. So this is both financially and psychologically the most damaging. There's three things that we're going to do to help you deal with market fluctuation. First of all, we are not going to be surprised when the market fluctuates. A 15% fluctuation in value is an annual event in the markets. A 35% fluctuation happens about every 5 years. Market fluctuation is normal, unpleasant, but normal. We're going to outlast it. We're going to expect it and outlast it. Second, in our plans, we maintain significant cash reserves. That is separate from your investment program. The cash reserves, first of all, don't fluctuate in value, and second of all, can be used so that you can allow your investment program to recover. You can decide when to start using your cash reserves to maintain your standard of living and not draw down your investment program. Third, it is completely within your control that you could change your standard of living. You spend less. You don't go on the fancy vacation. Maybe you cut back on gifts to charities or family. Each of these three options are completely within your control because the market drops are not. We would like your comments. Please subscribe below. We'd be interested in discussing with you how we might be able to help you and your family. Thank you.